They are charming, they are brilliant, and they are completely devoid of a conscience. They don't see people. They see chess pieces. This is the biopic of the Dark Triad, the three psychological traits that create the world's most dangerous manipulators. Have you ever met someone who just felt off? Someone who could switch their charm on and off like a light, who always seemed to be one step ahead, but not in a good way? You might have encountered someone high in Dark Triad traits. This isn't about diagnosing anyone from your armchair, but about understanding a fascinating and frankly frightening corner of human psychology. Today, we're diving deep into the world of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. These aren't just villains from movies. They walk among us. They can be CEOs, politicians, sometimes even friends or family. So, what makes them tick? And more importantly, how can you protect yourself? Let's unravel the minds of these master manipulators. First, let's break down the trifecta. Think of the Dark Triad as a Venn diagram of personality traits. In one circle, you have narcissism. This is more than just vanity or loving selfies. Pathological narcissists have an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a disturbing lack of empathy for others. They believe they are special and superior, and they expect to be treated that way. They build a fragile kingdom of ego, and they will defend it at all costs, often by devaluing those around them to feel bigger. They crave validation like a drug, but it's a hunger that can never truly be satisfied. Next, we have Machiavellianism. This trait is named after Niccolò Machiavelli, the Renaissance writer who famously argued that rulers should be prepared to be cunning, deceitful, and ruthless to maintain power. People high in Machiavellianism are strategic, cynical, and manipulative. They view life as a giant game of chess where other people are just pawns to be moved for their own gain. They're masters of long-term planning and are not afraid to exploit, deceive, or betray others to get what they want. Their motto is essentially, the ends justify the means, and their ends are almost always centered around power, money, and status. They don't get angry. They get even, often in a cold, calculated way you never see coming. And finally, the most chilling of the three, psychopathy. This is characterized by a profound lack of empathy and remorse, combined with impulsivity and antisocial behavior. While narcissists crave admiration and Machiavellians crave power, psychopaths often just crave stimulation. They get bored easily. Their emotional world is shallow. They don't feel love, fear, or guilt the way most of us do. This emotional void allows them to hurt others without a second thought. They are often incredibly charismatic on the surface, a mask they've perfected to mimic emotions and blend in. This is what makes them so dangerous. They can look you in the eye, lie with a straight face, and feel absolutely nothing. So how do these traits combine to create such effective predators in our modern world? Let's talk about the predator's logic. In the ruthless world of corporate business or high-stakes politics, these traits can, unfortunately, be an advantage. A narcissist's unwavering self-belief can be mistaken for strong leadership. A Machiavellian's strategic, unemotional planning can lead to huge profits or political victories. A psychopath's fearlessness and charm can win over investors and voters. They're willing to make the tough, unpopular decisions because they aren't bogged down by things like guilt or concern for collateral damage. They see a goal, and they pursue it with a single-mindedness that most empathetic people just can't muster. They win in business, but they fail spectacularly in humanity. Their relationships are transactional, their loyalty is non-existent, and they leave a trail of emotional and financial destruction in their wake. They climb the ladder by stepping on the heads of others, not by lifting them up. At the core of the Dark Triad is the lack of remorse, an emotional void that is difficult for most of us to comprehend. Imagine you accidentally step on someone's foot. You'd likely feel a pang of guilt, apologize, and feel bad for causing them pain. For someone high in dark triad traits, that emotional response is missing. They might apologize, but only if it serves them, perhaps to avoid a conflict or maintain their charming image. Inside, they feel nothing. They don't register the other person's pain. This isn't a choice. It's a fundamental difference in their emotional wiring. They can lie, cheat, and manipulate, and then sleep soundly at night because the emotional alarm system that tells us what you did was wrong is silent. This void is what allows them to see people not as human beings with feelings, but as objects or tools. You are either useful to them, or you are an obstacle. There is no in-between. So if they're so empty inside, how do they get so far? This brings us to their most powerful weapon, the charisma mask. People with dark triad traits are often masters of first impressions. The narcissist will flatter you, making you feel like the most special person in the room. The Machiavellian will impress you with their intelligence and vision. The psychopath will mirror your personality and passions, making you feel like you've found a soulmate. This charm isn't genuine. It's a carefully constructed performance. It's a tool they use to disarm you, to gain your trust, to make you lower your guard. They study people, learn what they want to hear, and then deliver it with Oscar-worthy sincerity. This is what I call a weapon of mass distraction. While you're captivated by their charisma, you fail to notice the red flags waving frantically in the background. They use this mask to draw you into their web before you even realize your prey. Now for the most important part, survival tactics. How do you spot these individuals before you become their next move? It's not about being paranoid. It's about being perceptive. First, trust your gut. If someone feels too good to be true, they often are. That instant, intense connection might be their manufactured charm at work. Second, watch for inconsistencies. Their words might be golden, but do their actions match up? They'll promise you the world, but consistently fail to deliver. They'll tell you they value honesty while you catch them in a web of lies. Third, pay attention to how they talk about others. Do they have a string of crazy exes or terrible former business partners? People with dark triad traits rarely take responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. They often use gossip and triangulation to pit people against each other. Fourth, observe their empathy, or lack thereof. When you're having a bad day, do they offer genuine support, or do they seem annoyed, bored, or try to turn the conversation back to themselves? Finally, set and maintain firm boundaries. A key test is to say no to them. A healthy person will respect your decision. A manipulator will try to argue, guilt trip, or charm you into changing your mind. Your boundaries are your best defense. Encountering someone with these traits can be a deeply damaging experience, and it's never your fault. If you recognize these patterns in a relationship that is causing you distress, please know there is support available. Talking to a therapist or a trusted friend can make a world of difference. Understanding the dark triad isn't about creating fear, but about empowerment. It's about trading naivety for awareness. By learning to recognize the predator's logic, the emotional void, and the charisma mask, you can protect your energy, your heart, and your well-being. You can learn to spot the chess master before you become a pawn in their game. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. I hope this was illuminating. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more content on psychology and human nature. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.